Hello, in this session we're going to create a compound XML. We log in to the developing workbench and we continue from the point where we stopped at the simple XML session, where we have defined the certif type as an operation which takes part in the XML. So we're going to add the second operation, which is the subject in certif. We can either access the operation definition from the menu of the concept design here, or on the right click operation, or we can access it through the the logic menu operation, and this is the number of the operation. In both cases we're going to position ourselves on the screen where the operation is defined. The first thing we do is to define a by method attribute to the properties of the operation, and then to add the methods corresponding to that operation. The first one, as we remember, is the obligatory one, find by key, and since this is dependent operation we also need an obligatory find by parent. The third one that we are going to use is the create. When we finish defining the methods to the operation, we can close here and we log into the catalog. As we remember, most of the work is done through the catalog. The first thing to do is to define a new service. We're going to call it a compound-xml, and we're going to add an association to the provider. The second thing is to define a new BC package. We're going to call it the same, and also here we have to associate the provider. And now we're going to generate a component from the operation, open the module, and associate the root operation, which was the same operation as we used in the session of the simple XML. And now we're going to add the second operation from the same module, and we need here we do the relationship between the root operation and this current operation, which is a dependent operation. By generating this relationship between the two and compiling the package, we can see that there is a relationship between the two. The certificate type 1 and the subject in certificate, and the colors are different. Just to be sure that there is a relationship between the two of them, we can just log in to the root one and see related component. Here we can see the relationship between the two of them. When we have finished this one, we can close the windows, those kinds of windows that open, and we go to the root one and we create a schema. We associate the service that was preliminarily defined, and here we need to change the names since those names were already taken by another service. So just to make the things clearer, we're going to use all those names compound-xml. And what will happen now is, while pressing the export, as we remember, two schemas are generated, one for the inbound, the other for the outbound, and also an XML document is being created and compiled. When the work is done, we can verify that everything was correctly created. We log here and we open, and we see now two, one for the outbound, one for this is the outbound, this is the inbound, and also the document here. In order to continue the work, we have to go back to the provider and include the two, the service and the BC. We go here to the service and we include the new service that we have just defined in the CT compound-xml, and also we include the BC package, also compound-xml. We need to define so we need to compile. See, it's not compiled. You see this small x, so we just need to compile it again, and we'll need to compile also the document. Okay, when we're done here and we want to check, as we said here, we can see the data which exists now in this relationship between the two. There's two simple XML from the previous one, so let's just go back to the CT and open the XML tester. We go and open the XML tester, and we're going to create a new document. Now that if we see now the structure of the new document, we can see now there is a relationship between the parent and the root and the dependent operation, the root and the dependent BC. Okay, let's define number 3. We'll call it a compound XML. Unit required, this is 0, it's a calculated one. A total obligatory, also calculate one. Additional units, let's define here 5, and this is the dependent operation, or the dependent BC. Number of units 3, minimum grade 75, and maybe it's an obligatory one. You do yes, and if we want to add another one, another subject, insert child element. Okay, subject number 2, units 2, 60, and let's say this one is also obligatory, and we'll submit it. We'll check that everything is okay. Yes, and we log to the provider to verify the results. When we execute this screen, we'll see that there is the third occurrence was inserted, and also we have some information here. If we go to the dependent one, for that one we're going to position ourselves here, subject, and we can see also those two new occurrences that we have added through this XML, and also the rules that were executed automatically since we have inserted new subjects. Okay, this concludes this session of compound XML, which is quite similar to the simple XML, but with additional relationship between two operations or two BCs that were defined. Thank you.